Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States, has a life story that exemplifies resilience, dedication, and a deep commitment to public service. Over a career spanning more than 5 decades, Biden has faced personal tragedies, political challenges, and the complexities of leadership, ultimately rising to the highest office in the nation. Early life and education. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. was born on November 20, 1942, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, to a working-class Irish Catholic family. His father, Joseph Sr., struggled with financial difficulties, which forced the family to move to Delaware when Joe was a child. Despite these challenges, Biden developed a strong work ethic and a sense of empathy for those facing hardship. Biden attended the University of Delaware, where he majored in history and political science. During his college years, he became increasingly interested in politics, inspired by the civil rights movement and the leadership of figures like John F. Kennedy. After graduating in 1965, Biden went on to study law at Syracuse University, where he earned his law degree in 1968. Early career and family tragedy. Joe Biden's political career began in 1970 when he was elected to the New Castle County Council in Delaware. Just 2 years later, at the age of 29, he ran for the U.S. Senate and won, becoming one of the youngest people ever elected to the Senate. However, his early political success was overshadowed by a devastating personal tragedy. Just weeks after the election, Biden's wife, Nylia, and their 1-year-old daughter, Naomi, were killed in a car accident while Christmas shopping. His 2 sons, Beau and Hunter, were critically injured but survived. Grief-stricken, Biden considered resigning before even taking office. However, he was persuaded to continue, swearing in as senator at his son's hospital bedside. This period profoundly shaped Biden's outlook on life and politics, instilling in him a deep sense of empathy and a commitment to issues affecting working families and vulnerable communities. Senate career and legislative achievements. During his 36 years in the Senate, Joe Biden established himself as a leading figure in foreign policy, criminal justice, and domestic policy. He served as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, where he played a key role in shaping U.S. criminal law, including the Violence Against Women Act, which provided critical protections for women suffering from domestic violence and sexual assault. Biden also chaired the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, where he was instrumental in guiding U.S. foreign policy, particularly in areas such as arms control, NATO expansion, and post-Cold War European security. His deep understanding of international relations earned him respect across the political spectrum and solidified his reputation as a seasoned statesman. Vice Presidency. In 2008, Barack Obama selected Joe Biden as his running mate in the presidential election. Obama's choice of Biden was strategic, aiming to balance the ticket with Biden's extensive experience in government and his working-class roots. The Obama-Biden ticket won the election, and Biden served as vice president from 2009 to 2017. As vice president, Biden was a key advisor to President Obama and took on significant responsibilities, including managing the administration's response to the global financial crisis, leading efforts to pass the Affordable Care Act, and overseeing U.S. foreign policy initiatives in Iraq and Ukraine. Biden also played a central role in advocating for middle-class economic policies and championed initiatives on cancer research, inspired by the loss of his son, Beau, to brain cancer in 2015. 2020 Presidential Campaign and Presidency. After leaving the vice presidency, Biden remained active in public life, but it wasn't until 2019 that he announced his candidacy for the 2020 presidential election. His campaign was framed around restoring the soul of America, emphasizing unity, decency, and the need to address the divisions that had intensified under the Trump administration. Biden's campaign faced significant challenges, including navigating a crowded Democratic primary field and the unprecedented circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, his message resonated with a broad coalition of voters, and he secured the Democratic nomination. In the general election, Biden chose Kamala Harris as his running mate. Making her the first woman, the first black woman, and the first South Asian woman to be elected Vice President of the United States. Biden won the election with over 81 million votes, the most in U.S. history, and was inaugurated as the 46th president on January 20, 2021. His presidency has focused on tackling the COVID-19 pandemic, rebuilding the economy, addressing climate change, and restoring America's global standing. Legacy and impact. Joe Biden's legacy is shaped by his resilience in the face of personal and political challenges, his deep commitment to public service, and his efforts to bridge political divides. As president, he has faced the daunting task of leading the country through one of its most turbulent periods, marked by a pandemic, economic uncertainty, and deep political polarization. Biden's story is one of perseverance and dedication to the ideals of democracy and public service. His long career, marked by both triumphs and tragedies, has made him a symbol of enduring hope and the belief that, even in the face of adversity, the American dream is still attainable.